Hey, Marcos.
I have no audio for some reason.
You what? I can hear you.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm doing
That's
really well. How are you?
great.
Yeah,
I'm doing good. No complaints at all.
good.
No complaints at all. So what are you doing creative? I just invented this. I did a goddess band
I
last
see
night.
that. Yeah.
I just did it. It has gardenias. No, not gardenias. They're oh my God, I forgot the name of the flower. How do you forget that? It's a lily.
Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a tiger lily, but it's a lily. So I invented it. I made it up last night because I wanted to do something creative because the show is all about being creative and creativity, you know? So
Right.
what have you been doing creative and, exciting, during our lockdown, I should say, because everybody, it's very difficult to get around because you gotta, it takes time to shop now.
It
I mean,
does.
it
It takes
takes
time
me
to
at
do
least,
everything.
it takes me at least like, to be honest, I would say 2-3 hours just to go shopping.
At least. Right.
And it never was like that before.
Right. Yeah, you have to factor that into everything you do now because, you have people out, still out of work and going out during the daytime. You have the social distancing. They're only allowing a certain number of people in at a time. So you have to factor that into everything you do now.
So are you still working?
I'm not. I've actually taken a few days off to do something. I actually started a 40-day challenge for myself. So I'm on day 3 of the 40-day challenge. It's health. It's mental health. It's, making myself the best
Nice.
that I can. Yeah. Physically, mentally strong, eating well, working out, and just kind of changing my attitude in the way that I look at things and trying to find the positivity in things,
Yeah, that's
the way I
great.
approach situations. So, yeah, I've been working on that.
Yeah, me too. I'm working towards going on a master cleanse. So I started slow. I always start gradually. I don't go right. Like some people go right into it. I
Right,
don't
yeah,
go right into it. I never
right.
do. So I made some bone broth soup, made with red snapper.
Okay,
And
okay.
I put distilled water in it. It's delicious. It's okay. I mean, the one I made from before was better. It had more flavor. I don't know what I missed because I'm not that kind of cook where I remember every. I
Are you,
can't
are you
cook
a
like that.
spice? Are you a spice type of person? Do you like spice in your food?
Yeah, absolutely. I like
Yeah.
chili powder, not chili peppers. I like the powder.
I like it all. I can't. I'm really weird because I can't eat anything without cayenne pepper on it. That's like
Yeah,
a low
me
level for
too.
me. Yeah. So low level is cayenne pepper, and then anything above that, I'm better.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people don't know this, but sometimes the peppers keep your skin. Like a lot of people always say my skin is clear.
Hmm.
And the reason why it's really clear, a lot of people don't know this, but red onions are excellent. Red onions is the beauty secret, actually,
Okay.
because it's the red dye in it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the red onions, that's the beauty secret. It's not
Wow.
the white onions, it's not the green onions, it's the red onions, and I love red onions. So a lot
Right.
of times I don't know why everybody always says, "Oh, my skin is so clear." It's not like I do it on purpose, maybe because I haven't eaten meat since I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? So I don't have all those pollutants in my body. I have more problems with like carbs and fried food, but I don't have the meat problem. So
Right. Same here. I stopped eating red meat and pork when I was 21. So it's been a long time since I had any of that stuff, and I pretty
I
much
don't even
only.
remember how it tastes. Do you remember the
Right.
taste?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, right when I stopped eating it, you would crave it for a little while, but yeah, no, I don't even remember anymore. I don't remember.
Wow.
But back to the spices, what I was going to say real quick about the spices, I know that cayenne pepper and all those spices, they actually speed up your metabolism, which makes you sweat, which helps to clear your skin out. So that's always good too.
Yeah. Well, I always eat cayenne pepper. I eat cayenne pepper so much that sometimes I cough. It's so hot.
So hot,
I love it though. That's what you have to use on the master cleanse. You do the lemon, the water, the maple syrup, and you do the cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
But the thing about me when I'm detoxing, I don't sleep a lot. That's the thing. I don't.
Why is that?
I don't know. Sometimes I sleep more. I don't know. I think it's because it depends on how much exercise I'm getting, how cool it is. When it's hot, I don't really sleep a lot. I just don't.
Right.
With
I don't know, it's hard. Do you drink coffee or do you drink things with a lot of caffeine in it? You know, while you're doing it, or is it like a tea, or do you think that has something to do with it? Or
I always like a little bit of caffeine. I like green tea, so maybe that's it too.
Right. Well, I don't. Yeah, green tea has a little bit of caffeine in it. It certainly doesn't have as much as coffee in it, from what I understand. So, I live on coffee. I live on coffee. That's like water for me.
Wow.
Which I know people think it's crazy,
God.
but yeah, I wake.
I don't know. Your connection is coming in and out.
Sorry, I wake up. I have a cup of coffee.
You were breaking up.
I have a cup of coffee stuck to my hand when I wake up. That's my life.
No, I start with tea. I started since this has started. I do china plates, you know, with teacups, the real teacups. I usually do like a steam pot. I have a small candle I put my tea in, and I put what is she saying? Hey, who's that? Do you know that's your cousin again?
Oh yes, that's cousin Katani. She says that the screen froze.
Oh, okay.
How are we doing now? Can you see us?
Yes. Can you see us? I'm answering for you. That's funny. Yeah, I do like I did this morning. I had green tea with berries in it, and black tea with ginger, and then I put a piece of cinnamon in it for the sweetness. The cinnamon really works.
It does.
I can't even believe it.
Right. That's actually what I put in my coffee in the morning. I put a little cinnamon on top to give it the sweetness, and I do without the sugar.
Yeah, I take the whole, the whole tube, and you dip it in there. Yeah, that one, to me, it has more flavor than the other one, you know?
Right.
So, are you selling anything lately? Or are you selling, did you make anything creative or?
No, but, the last time we spoke, I was telling you about the podcast. So please, everybody, if you get a chance, go to One Mic Night Podcast on your favorite platform and check out the interviews that I had. I had an interview today with a phenomenal artist, Stephen Anthony Beasley, which some of you may already know. He does funk, soul, roots and gospel. He's a consummate performer. The newest episode out right now is with an actor, a 3-time award-winning actor named Richie McCall, who does Stepin Fetchit. He's got a show. It's called Me and Stepin. And if you don't know who Stepin Fetchit is, listen to the podcast because he gives you a big history. And the one before that, of course, was Liz Menezes, talking about her cancer and her life and her music.
Oh yeah!
Yes,
wow.
Really
so sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she started following me. I'm going to try to have her on.
Please have her on. Please.
Yeah, I will definitely have her on. I can have her on this Friday if she's listening to this. I'll DM her when I get off.
Okay.
So. And see if she wants to come, because I have somebody coming on this Friday. She's a teacher, and we all have to get used to staying behind mics and cameras and stuff like that. And I'm so excited that she's coming on. I'm trying to get my sister on. I'm trying to get people on that they're not used to it too. You have to get used to a new life now. It's really a shame.
right? This is
It's
the
not a
state.
shame. It's just learning something new. You're just learning more technology. That's it.
I'm sorry about that. It's a whole new world and a whole new way of life. So yeah, we have to get used to it.
Yeah. So how long can you stay on, Marcos? Because I don't want to keep you.
That's okay. I can be on for another few minutes. But what I did want to say is, in
Yeah.
regards to that, is the reporting of the new coronavirus cases. People are really surprised that the numbers are going up, and people are not, taking care the way that they should.
No,
It's
you
crazy.
have to be responsible for everybody. People don't get it.
Right. You do. You do. And that's what it's all about. It's not just self-care, it's about taking care of other people too.
Yeah,
So,
you have to take care of other people. You know, I saw a lady down the block. God, her mother was there, and they didn't let the older people have a mask on, but they did. You know, the younger
right.
people, they had a mask on because they didn't want
Exactly.
them to catch it. So you know
Exactly.
what I mean? That's being considerate. You know what I
Being
mean?
very considerate. And like Liz is on right now, and Liz is saying, we carry each other. We're responsible for each other.
Absolutely. You're a
Right.
fool. You're a fool if you think it's just you and your family. That's what
Right.
I get. People, they don't get it. It's not about you and your family, even though you could be so tight with your family. No, we live in one world. And
World.
people don't get that. You know, it's a
Right.
shame. It's really bad.
It is.
You know, I mean, I haven't had any fights, but that's why I don't say anything. Because the first time I did say something to someone, the lady got a real bad attitude. And
Right.
I was in a post office and a guy came in and it was a man behind me. I'm not going to get into white or black or whatever. It was a
Right.
man behind me and he was talking about somebody from the Midwest that was his cousin. And his cousin had just died from the virus. And see, the thing is, this is what's really sad. So people need to know this. When a person goes in a hospital for it, you cannot come with them.
Right.
If you come with them, they will arrest you. You can't
Right.
even see them. They not even let you see them be buried. I mean, that's how it's bad.
Exactly.
So to get into the story with her, she had an attitude because I didn't say it not one time. I said it 2 times. I said, "Where's your mask?" I said, this is serious, because I'm very conscious like that because my mom made me more conscious like that, right? But she was like, she goes, "Look, you need to calm down." You know what I mean? She said, everybody hears you. I said, but people don't get the seriousness. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And
Right.
she said, I need to calm down. She said it to me 2 times, and I said, "Miss, don't tell me to calm down. It's my life too, okay?"
Right.
And see, that's why I gotta say in because I don't like when you see people and they got their mask here because I feel like saying it's supposed to be over your nose.
Exactly. Exactly. And you're talking about 131,000 deaths, you know what I mean? And now you're talking about 35 of the 50 states are mandating that people wear masks. And I understand from both sides, people are asserting their rights as an American. You don't have to wear it if you don't want to, but it's humane to wear it. You know what I mean? Like you're concerned about other people. You need to wear those. So it's I find it selfish for people who don't. I understand why you don't, but it's selfish not to wear a mask.
Well, I think a lot of people are just dumb. That's it. I think they're just dumb. They don't care about nobody else outside of their realm. That's it. That's what I think. I think a lot of people are just dumb. And I think that's why they like the president.
Right.
I think people that are like that, they should go and I shouted out on Instagram. It was a lady saying she had a sign up about why you shouldn't wear the mask. And I said, you know what, you and your friends should go with people that don't want to wear masks, but when you're around other people, wear it.
Right.
And I
Wear
said, you should be ashamed of yourself. I know this little old man, he goes like this. He's old. He's like in his 80s and he has to walk around with the mask. He said his glasses be steaming up. My glasses steam up too because I have on shades with it too. So he said, he always says to you, shame on you. Every time when he sees them without a mask, he says, shame on you. And it's true.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so I always write every morning. So I wrote this morning and I said, you better say it, Rae. Because I love creativity. So I'll read it out loud. Creativity flows always around me because I have respect for the process in making it happen.
Good. That's good.
I don't know. I just made that up. So it's creativity. Creativity flows always around me because I have respect for the I guess the patient, passion, and the results of what happens afterwards, you know. And creativity is real funny, you know, when you're creative, people think it's like easy to be creative. They don't know it has to be like a flow. And I tend to like to be like a flow, like I'm always kind of dreamy, you know, not like I'm in a dream, but I always dream of things. So I might see a box, right? And then I might see a circle. And then I say, how can I make that into a hat?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's how I think all the time. So
but do you think that creativity is, or being creative is sort of subjective? Meaning like what the end result of it all is? Is it subjective? Or are you talking more about the process of creativity?
I think it's a mix of both. You know, I think it depends on your patient level with something. You know, it's almost like if you're an engineer or you're more like, I would say engineer, you know, like a person that does aeronautics, stuff like that. It's more like that kind of mindset, I think. Because I think, you know, I always believe that, you know, when I design something, you could take it apart and put it back together. That's naturally how I think, you know, like I don't think like most creative people. Some creative people, they see like something with Karl Lagerfeld, or you know, they see Michelangelo. You know, they get off like that kind of style. I don't like that. I like something when it's nothing and you make it. That's how I think naturally. So, I mean, I could see something and change the whole thing around. I'm just naturally like that. So those are like my projects are my babies. You know what I mean? I don't really necessarily feel that you have to go to school for that. It has to be innate in you. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I think that's what I was saying about, isn't it subjective? I mean, you know, you have kids who haven't been to school yet who are creative because they're taking nothing and they're making something. And however it is for them, I mean, they love it. To us, it might be something different. We may not, you know, think it's that great, but it's something, it's the process of being creative and the end result for them. And maybe somebody else does think it's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, like I always like when I was in design school, I always got in trouble because I never stayed true to what the teacher wanted. You know what I mean? So I'm not into pre-program. I always have my own program. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's how sometimes you could get into a fight with other artists. You know, when I was in school, I did get into, you know, fights towards being talent. You know, because I don't let people judge my talent, and I tend to be a little feisty about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's the hard part, like you said, about going to school, because there's a certain regimen that you have to follow in order to, you know, be approved about your creativity. But as an artist, you know, you're not really, you're learning how to be an artist. You're learning the basic structure of creativity. And then what you take from that is when you start to explore who you are as an artist. So I understand, you know, you go to school, they teach you a certain thing, you have to do it this way, you have to learn this, you have to learn that. And then you take all that stuff that you learn and you put it together, and then you explore who you are. And that's what makes you the true artist. So I could see what you mean, yeah. I can see that's
It's
hard.
it's hard to go to school because it's more history. You know, I like history, but they don't really tell the truth. You know, that's why America's messed up. Because history, if they really had slaves in the book, you would know what America was all about. So that's why Black lives, they never wanted to be Black Lives Matter. They don't see that we deserve it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like Black and brown people, we don't deserve to be mentioned in the history book. So that alone always bothered me personally. I'm not talking about everybody else, but it always bothered me when I was in school, you know. Right. And I had a fight with a teacher. I tell you one fight I had, and I thought it was legit, you know. And I had maybe at FIT, I might have had 3 fights. And they were serious fights. You know, one was the literature teacher, and she tried to tell me that Walt Whitman was more literature than Langston Hughes, okay? And I was like,
Interesting.
Yeah, and it was because I wanted to do something on Langston Hughes because I was living in the Langston Hughes house. Right. You know, and I was so excited about literature and learning and stuff like that, but it didn't go that way. She refused to accept that. Right. It was sadly, so bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, sadly, it's, you know, part of it is the time that we live. You know, now it's all coming to surface, a lot of things about the way we've been teaching and the things that we've been taught, and people are more vocal about it. And that's what we're trying to change right now. You know, there are other contributors to history that made this country as good as it is. You know, so yeah, it's a whole new perspective that's coming to light right now. And it's amazing. Right. We're the really
because it's great. It's the thing of hiding things all the time, trying to cover up. You can't cover those things up. You know, everything, even American literature has a little Chinese in it. It has Black. It has Koreans.
Listen, I'm going to dig a little deeper. To compound on what you say. Propaganda. It's propaganda that's, you know, sent out by the government and say, hey, listen, we're going to teach the curriculum in this way. This is the perspective that we're going to do it. We don't care about all the other people who contributed. We care about one way that this nation was formed. You know, and that's some BS. So now we need to go back and we need to rewrite and integrate everything into the history books that made this country exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
Right?
But I heard this February, I heard the reason why they didn't put slaves in the history books of America because they didn't want the white kids to didn't find out how negative they are. But it's nothing, you know, like, I don't know. I get a little
That's
annoyed.
Interesting. That's something to think about. I never thought about that. That's interesting to think about.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why, because they don't want them to feel the bitterness that we had to feel. Or, you know, my mother's from the South, so I know how difficult it was because she had stories, trust me. Right. You know, and these stories I'll never forget. You know, she used to talk about Alabama, Mississippi, what was going on there. You know what I mean? Right. And then sometimes it's so in the South, some of the Black people there, they so beat down, they don't even know how to deal with it.
Exactly. Yep, you're a victim of circumstance. Yep, exactly. And you can't. There's no way you can move forward because you feel like you can't move forward. Nobody's letting you move forward. You know, and this is the whole thing we're talking about systemic racism. You know, it just gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, it is. It does. So, I mean, I'm along with you too. I've heard stories, you know, and I think we're not so far away from that time in the 60s, in the 50s, that happened. You know,
I know.
We're a couple generations, but if people today, the younger kids, think back 40, 50 years ago and see what it was like, they would have a whole new perspective.
Totally.
And I don't mean just Black kids, I mean both sides, everybody.
Yeah, but I'm so proud of the young Black, white, Asian, Indian kids that it's amazing. They're like, no, we're not taking this. No, we like each other. It's you older people need to get it together because that's who it is. It's not
Exactly.
the younger. It's
That's
not
the
the
new
younger.
creative way of thinking. That's exactly it. That's the new creative way of thinking. Right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because they don't care about that. They're not like that. They're not rap. They don't care. They like dreads. They like fros. They like people that are different. You know,
Right.
they do. I mean, I like, you know, like, even for me, to be honest with you, I'm more creative when I'm with younger people. Because older people seem like they got like some kind of stopper on them. Oh, I'm too old for this, and I'm too old to do that. Well, you know, I can't go back to school, but I had some young kids get on me too. I remember when I was in school and I was working, and I heard this guy, he looked at me, and he was a bro. He looked at me and he said, "Don't you think you're too old to be going back to school?" And I just said, "You know what? But you know what? That's how somebody's mind. But you know, you have to be smarter than that. You have to always be willing to listen to people that don't know what they're talking about, so you know you're on the right track."
Exactly. And surround yourself with people like that. I mean, first of all, the learning process never stops. And if your learning process stops, shame on you. Okay? So I don't care who you are, I don't care what profession you're in, you should want to seek more for yourself. This is my perspective. You know, you should want to seek more for yourself. I don't care if you're the best actor, the best singer. I still feel like you can be taking voice lessons. I feel like you could, you know, take acting lessons, you know, and further your craft and further make yourself better.
Yeah.
You know, education, experiencing new people, new ideas, new things. You know, what's better than sitting down at a table with people who are different cultures so you can learn something about them? You know, we're not at a point where we're just tolerating people anymore. It's about accepting. It's about learning about the differences and embracing differences of people and cultures. That's where we are. This is the United States of America, where you have so many different people together, and we should be living harmoniously together.
Yep.
When is that going to start? You know,
I know.
That's what we're aiming for. That's what we want. That's you talking about making America great. Again, that's making America great.
Yeah, I mean, but it's so. I mean, look at this one. Harvard decided to do his. I heard this morning. I don't know if you listened to the news, but Harvard decided to do all their classes online. So this one, Mr. Know-it-all, know nothing, he says, "Well, that's too bad. That's a shame. Shame on them to do that, right?" But the thing is, if he was smart, now this is the difference between knowing and not knowing. The people that know, they already prepare. So they're already prepared. So they're preparing their students to say, "Hey, coronavirus is going to be around." That's Harvard. If Harvard is saying it and he's the president, something's wrong with him.
Well, I don't think he went to Harvard, first of all, so he's probably not that bright.
There you go.
You know what I
There
mean?
you go.
But, you know, he's
That's
thinking
the
about
problem.
economy, he's thinking about money, he's thinking about tradition, he's thinking about all these things other than people's lives. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing.
You know
That's
why
the
they
most
said,
important thing.
D.L. Hughley said, this is what D.L. Hughley said. He said that the reason why he opened the economy up was because he's trying to win a second term, and he's probably not going to win it. He's not going to win it. I think he's not going to win it. I don't think he is. I have no idea why.
That's where we all need to get out and vote. You know, that's
yeah,
that's what we said last time. But we all need to get out and vote. This is a call to arms to vote right now. Right
Everybody.
here, right now. RaeRae and Marcos.
It's really it's the young kids. It's not the old people. Old people, like, I'm not that old and you're not that old, but we're old. So, but it's the people that are just turning 21, 22, those kind of people that just can vote. Those are the ones that are more important because they don't vote.
Right. Well, everybody needs to vote, but yeah, you're right. We need to get the younger people out there to vote because their votes count. You know, we have to take control of this country somehow so we can all live harmoniously.
You don't want no dummy in there. And then he's talking about Obama. At least Obama wasn't dumb.
Right. Right.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
So what do you think would happen this week with those 6 kids dying in Brooklyn?
I have no clue. I don't know. I have no idea.
That was in Bedford-Stuyvesant or East New York?
Yeah.
Wow, it's always been bad.
Yeah, first of all, over the holiday weekend, the number of, police, number of fatalities and injured just went up like crazy. We have to do better. We're at a state right now where everybody needs to reassess some things. These gatherings that people are having, the fighting. I mean, I know we've been cooped up for a long time, but we gotta.
That is so crazy, and it's so sad on my heart that those kids, they didn't even have a life.
Right, no life.
They didn't even have a life at all, and they were young. Yeah. 20 years old was the youngest one. That's terrible. I mean, they go and they march for Black Lives Matter and, be together with, George Floyd, but you got to stop it here too. That's one of the reasons why I like certain parts of Brooklyn, but I don't like Brooklyn because they're too gangster. They really like Chicago in a way. Chicago is even worse. I think Chicago is worse.
Chicago is bad. Chicago had a rough weekend too. Chicago and New York, probably the top two.
Wow, they even beat in LA.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. I've lived, obviously I lived in Chicago before I lived here,
Oh, okay.
It's a city. It's got its problems. It definitely has its problems.
Everything is a problem, but that's why I always stay inside of creativity because it's hard for me personally to think negative every day when you get up, and that's probably one of the reasons why I'm not sleeping that well, and it's probably not unusual because so much is going on. I never really sleep that well in the summertime anyway because of the heat, the change with my body. It's up and down. And my body says, look, I don't like it. Okay, you're going to get up. You know what I mean? So it's like that,
Well, speaking of the creativity part of it and relating it back to what we were saying earlier, with this money that they're taking from the police department, supposedly, allocate it into the community where you have, the Boys and Girls Clubs. You have these places where the kids can go and be creative. Include the arts back into the school system. It's important. It helps, allocate those funds for people to be creative and have outlets to keep people off the streets, to educate them a little more so they can go further in life. Let's start out. Listen, I was thinking about this morning. There's some big differences between cultures. A lot of the wealthier and middle class and upper middle class, they sit down with their kids. They teach them about stocks. They teach them about investment. They teach them about real estate. So they have a head start on some of the people, like people of color. We don't teach our kids about that. We need people to step up.
Well, that's kind of rough, because it depends on how many kids you have, if your husband's helping you, if it's like my mother, she divorced my father, so it was really my mother, And then you sometimes you have to take the man to court to get, oh my God.
To get money.
It's really rough being certain cultures, but it happens in all the cultures.
It does. And that's what I'm saying. Like, can we get people some of this money maybe for the community, have people or private investors somehow step up and say, listen, let's teach people about stocks. Let's teach people about banking and real estate so that they have a head start. So they know they have a direction. So we have a direction to go, and get help to people.
That's true, but sometimes things seem like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but sometimes it's a little bit more complicated.
Of course it is.
Like I remember when I always miss one of my friends. She has 3 kids. I always miss them because they're young and they're coming up, and I always love kids. I don't have any kids. I've never you know, I wouldn't have kids out of wedlock, period. I'm not like, I'm not that type. So
Right.
God bless women that are like that. I'm not. So, but in any event, I always would take care of her kids. So one thing about the little boy, at first he used to be a little afraid of me because I have like a vivacious, you know, voice, you know, and I only speak soft, maybe in the morning, you know, but most of the time my tempo is up. I'm excited about the day. That's basically what it means. I'm excited about life. It doesn't mean I'm a big mouth. It just means I'm excited about life. Every day I wake up, I feel it's a blessing. That's it. That's how I roll.
How do you keep that attitude? That's the thing. How do you keep that positivity? Because a lot of us, you know, we can't stay with it all the time.
Well, you know, one thing about me, Marcos, when I was really young, you know, when you get the mumps, the measles, and the chicken pox, I was one of the kids that almost died.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know I was going to be alive. I didn't know that. And so every time when I get really, really sick, I always say, God, if you get me out of this, I'm going to be happy. And I never forget it. So every day I get up, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not saying I'm like perfectly happy, but I'm always on the up. You know, I'm always up, energized, just like that. I don't need a whole crew around me. I just do it on my own. But I learned when I was a kid, because I was so young, and I could have died, you know? And I just think of the little things. You know how lucky it is that you made it to your mother's body. You know what I mean? Just the little things you got to be thankful for, you know?
Right. And I think,
like,
you know,
right now.
Forget that.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think we forget that. And sometimes it takes a life-changing experience like that to remind you of, you know, the beauty of life and, you know, the possibilities that you have. I would imagine that during this time, you know, this pandemic, people would reassess some things like that and change the outlook on life. And I know it's a desperate time for some people. And, you know, I hope everybody's reaching out to each other to help everybody. But you have to understand how, you know, precious it is and, you know, where can we go from here? And you have to think outside the box because, like we said earlier, we're in a different world right now. You have to start thinking outside the box in order to move forward.
Yeah, some of the things I'm doing right now, because you could get trapped. Let me just tell you. Okay, your mind could get trapped. You know, when it first started, I was crying a lot. I'm going to be honest with you, because I felt closed in, you know, psychologically, because it never happened to me before, and I didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
And I said,
a lot of people felt like that. A lot of people felt like that, by the way.
Oh, my God, it was awful. I must have been like that for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then something snapped.
Especially for us living here in New York, where we know it's a 24-hour city, and you the possibility of living. That's why people live in New York, because you know that at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can walk down to the bodega and get yourself, you know, some food, a sandwich, whatever you want. And then for all that to be taken away, you know, you start to feel like the anxiety, the pressure, everything, you know, your creativity stops, everything. So then you have to rebuild and regenerate itself.
Yep.
Find that place.
Yeah, they said sugary stuff is going up. A lot of people buying sugary stuff, salty stuff, and alcohol.
Right.
And bread makers.
Oh,
to make
really?
fresh homemade bread is going, you know, the bread home machines.
Of course, yeah.
They're almost sold out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know a lot of people have been cooking at home for sure because you have no other choice. So, yeah, people have been.
Right.
That's interesting. Bread.
Yeah, I heard, that's what I heard, the most things that are selling. And Amazon, he's probably made the most amount of money ever.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what I'm doing right now, because I had to shift my thinking, and I can't be around certain people right now. I can just tell you that. Anybody that talks not nice to me, I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't have any more excuses in my head for them. I can't. I'm being honest. I just can't take them. I don't want to deal with them. I don't care if it's my brother, but I've always kind of been like that when I was younger. I don't care what people say about me. I go where I feel comfortable. So even if somebody says something bad about me and it's a critique, you know what I say? Keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it if it's not positive about me. If I'm not killing myself, if I'm not committing suicide, if I'm not dying, shut up and mind your business. And that's what I tell adults. And they don't like that. So some people are a little timid of me because I'm like that. But that is my true essence of who I am. I'm very overprotective of myself. And I don't like people that complain right now. Anybody that's negative, anybody that's saying anything that I don't like, I'm not talking to them. And then what I do, I get a book. I have these little 99-cent books, and I title them by the month, and I write in them every day. I write a grateful list. I write 10 or 20, it depends. You know, I write a grateful list, and then I always write things to come up with ideas to keep me creative.
That's
so
good.
that's what I'm doing. You know, I have one of my friends, she said, when I was at my crying stage, you know what she said?
What's that?
She said, that's when people really die. She said that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. That's a little harsh.
She can't understand it. Like, some people can't understand when you're sensitive.
Yeah. No, it's been a hard time. I mean, it's been a hard time for most people. You know, having all the liberties taken away for so long, and we're so used to being free to do whatever we want to. But then you have to stop and think, at the cost of what? You know what I mean? Like, it's a small fraction of our life compared to our life. You know, that's the parallel. Small fraction versus your life. You know, so
no.
Yeah, you have to. You do.
So, what are some of the things you're doing to keep positive, Marcos?
Actually, I think I said this last time. I've been watching a lot of webinars and learning, going back to learning again. Last Monday, American Black Film Festival has a Monday night movie series where you go to the website. Shout out to American Black Film Festival. You go there, you watch the film, the short film, and then they have a Q&A afterwards, and you get to talk to the director. And
it's called American what?
Black Film Festival, ABFF. You know, go to that and support them, and you know, some incredible films. The filmmakers come on and talk, and you have a Q&A with them.
Nice.
Yeah, just learning. You know, the learning process doesn't stop for me.
Right, I'm always trying to do something different. You know, like I have room for it because I'm already doing a lot already. Right. So, what did you think of my flyer? Did you like the flyer? I
love the flyer. That's something new you're doing now, right?
No, I that's what my degree is in, graphics.
Graphics, okay.
Yeah.
I might have to enlist you to do a couple of things for me.
Oh, definitely. I'll give you a good deal, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Because I do it really quick. I just did that little movie this morning. I did that in I think I did that in about 10 minutes. Did you see the movie or no?
I didn't see the movie. I just saw the flyer you did.
Yeah, the one, the flyer from yesterday, today, this morning, like about 8 or 9, I put a little movie up, and I put my voice with it, with some music.
Okay, I didn't see that.
That took me about 10 minutes.
I want a couple of shout outs. Corey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. Any questions you guys have for me and RaeRae, please just type it in.
Yeah,
I see you. Yeah.
About creativity, visual, psychologically. We've been at it a long time, so if you have any questions for me, you can always DM me. And if you're interested in coming on the show, DM me and let me know. The show is all about creativity and being positive in our new world. So, and I'll be happy to open up a platform for you. You could come on and chat for 30 minutes, or you could do 60 minutes. I designed my goddess band. I'm selling these. I do blogs, I do websites, I do the flyers that I always promote.
She does it all.
Movies.
She does it all.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
But
Yes,
I
you
try
do.
my best to do. I try my best, though. I work at it. You know.
Yeah, you do a great
One
job.
thing my friends, one of my friends she was saying. Sometimes they say for you to grow, you got to hear what your close friends say about you. So I was like, is there anything? What is the worst thing about me? And she told me it was my man trouble.
Wow.
Yeah, but everything else, no. She said I'm so sweet, loving, and kind, and she just had really good things to say about me. I've never been like real. I don't bother people. Actually, that's what I do. I just keep learning. You know,
Right.
that's like I had a relationship for a very long time, for 10 years, and basically it broke up. Not because we just didn't match anymore. You know what I mean? And he didn't want to marry me, and I didn't want to. I was like, you know what? I got things to learn, and he wouldn't learn as much as me, because I'm always hungry for
Right.
everything
Hungry to
I can
learn.
get. You know,
Right. Yep.
that's what makes me really smarter. Because instead of hanging out with people, I'll go home. I'll come home and I'll watch like a YouTube video on something that's going to take me over to the next future step. So, I'm really into doing iMovies, but I could do them on this phone, but I can't do them on YouTube yet. But I have to learn how to swirl YouTube into my style. That's why it's taking me so long. But once I get it, I'll be done. So that's what I've been studying.
Oh, good. All right. That's
Yeah.
good.
So thank you so much for putting me on YouTube. You put it on which channel though?
I think it's on. I want to say it's on One Mic Night channel. It may be on my channel.
Yeah, DM
But
me and I'll DM me the location and then I'll go and tag it.
okay, I think
Because
it's
I
on.
have a YouTube up also.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, definitely learn how to do it because this is a viable tool. You can even stream live on YouTube as well.
Yeah. It's just, I'm fancy, so I like fancy things. I like a fancy look. I don't want to be
Fancy.
going up. I gotta have it like couture look. You know what I
Right,
mean?
I see.
That's just. I've always been kind of fancy.
You have
I
been
gotta
fancy.
always. Yeah, I gotta have mine's always fancy. People say, people would never do what I do because I like it. I
Right, you're
love
very
it.
unique. You're
I
very unique.
love making things fancy. I love things looking beautiful. I like smelling good. That's just how I roll. I've always been like that.
That's
I'm
good.
so glad you made it on. So,
Yeah, thank
thank
you for
you
having me.
so much
I
for,
appreciate it.
do you want to come on once a week or, you want to do every other week with me or how would you like to do the schedule?
We'll talk after this, for sure.
Okay.
That sounds good.
That's cool. Because
Well, thank you
I
for having
like
me, everybody.
what?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for everybody who jumped on and listened to us live.
Yeah, that's great, right? Thank you so much, Marcos. But our time is not up yet, so
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. We're still
So
pushing forward.
Did you go away this weekend for the 4th of July, or what did you do?
You know what? I went and hung out with some friends. One of my friends has a new puppy, and so we were out with the dog, just in the park, and it was weird. I actually went to a restaurant for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was weird because, first of all, let's back it up because during the whole pandemic, there's no touching, so it's almost like you haven't touched anyone. Especially if you live by yourself, you haven't shake hands with anybody,
Really?
no hugs, no anything. You know what I mean? So to even go to a restaurant, it's awkward. You don't know where to touch a table. You don't know. You know what I mean? So it's been a weird experience.
Wow.
Really weird experience.
What kind of food did you guys go for?
We went for Peruvian food.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
And what did you have? Jerk chicken?
No, it's not. They don't have jerk chicken. It was a roasted chicken, a pollo rostizado, a roast chicken. So,
nice.
Yeah, rice and beans, and it was good.
Plantains? You had plantains?
No plantains there. I wish.
No. You know what I've been falling in love with? I hate to admit it, but I'm falling in love with this. The I forgot what you call them, Tostitos or something like that. The bananas that are flat and they refry them and they're really crunchy. I forgot the name of them.
The plantains that are fried?
No, not the plantains. The plantains are the sweeter ones. The other ones are not sweet. I think they're called tortadas or something like that.
Tostones.
Yeah, the tostones. Yeah, I love those. Wow, I love those. Yeah. I fell in love with this one brand, and I was like, Rae, you know, you're going to start spreading. You know, you better take it easy, you know.
No, I think you'll be all right.
I go, you better take it easy, Rae.
I think you'll be all right.
Because I love, my weakness is not cakes and cookies. My weakness is fried fish, fried food.
Rae, hold on one second. Prince Fiorentino just joined. I may be pronouncing the name wrong, but definitely check him out. Creative mind. He moved to LA. Go to his page, Instagram. Skits, funny, comedian, actor.
Really? He should come on. Hey, DM me.
Yes.
Wow, I would love to have him on. Definitely. I'll check him out later, but, you know, once I finish this, I got to edit before Javier comes on. That's what I do. I edit. So before the day is out, I'll DM him.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, because I got this crazy mind. So I always have to be active like this.
Right.
And now since I'm fasting, it makes me more active because I'm empty. So it makes my brain smarter.
Right. I hear you.
Like I feel like I could do more.
Do more, yeah.
It's crazy how fasting does it for you. The master cleanse, forget it. Once I'm on that, I don't know if I'm gonna get off. Because it makes me feel so good. Good.
Yeah. That's what we all need right now. That's what we need. Focus.
Have you ever did a master cleanse?
I haven't. I'm still trying to do this 40-day challenge right now. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. You know what I mean?
So what is your 40-day challenge, if you don't mind me inquiring?
It's eating healthier, working out, trying to get focused, you know, making sure I do at least 2 things on my projects a day. You know what I mean? Like committing to working on my craft every day. That's it. Mental and physical.
Yeah, but you got to take that word trying. Don't say trying. You have to say growing. You have to say growing or moving, because that's moving, you know that makes you trying kind of goes back. That's what I always. It's hard to stop saying that, but I tell you that's one thing. Don't say trying. Just say I'm growing into doing something new.
Right. I hear you. Okay. Power of words.
Because you always learning.
Power of words.
Yeah, the power of words. Definitely. And you know who I've been loving? He's been a little cuckoo lately, Les Brown.
I haven't seen Les Brown in a while.
You should see him. He's kind of funny now. He goes, go ahead with your bad self or something like that. Would you behave talking to somebody like somebody's there with him? And he's talking to you.
I'll check him out.
He's funny now.
He's doing a podcast. He's doing
I saw him on Facebook. He does a Facebook in the morning.
I'll have to check him out.
Everybody's doing something. And have you heard of this guy? His name is Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas? I don't think so.
Yeah, they're from Detroit. I think they're from Michigan, around that area. Mm. But he's called a preacher. He's called the rap preacher. You know, but I follow him. I follow a lot of different people. I follow, shout out to Jordan Harbinger. I watch, I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk. I even have Gary Vaynerchuk hashtag underneath my picture because he is so inspirational, Gary. I like Gary a lot. I'm telling you, if I could find a boyfriend like Gary, I would marry him in a minute. You know, if we were attracted to one another.
That would be, that sounds good, yep.
Yeah, he's just so, I think what it is, I met him in person because I'm very determined. So I read all his books and then I met him and he was just so blown me away because, you know, he's worth so many dollars, you know what I mean? Yeah. That he didn't let the dollar amount be on his head. he was just as normal as we're talking. And I thought that was so powerful. You know, he wasn't pompous. Let's put it that way. He didn't have this big old fat ego.
Right. That's a great place to be. Humble.
Oh my God. I mean, it's so beautiful. He's such an elegant man, I would say. You know, he doesn't look it, but his demeanor is like that, you know. I like that about him a lot, you know. And it's another guy I listen to. His name is Jordan Harbinger. And he does a podcast. He does a podcast about situations and how to prepare yourself. Like if you get in a bad, how to pay attention to your intuition, how to trust people more, how to get more, you know, get more jobs and stuff like that. A lot of people are still young. They're younger than me, but I listen to all aspects, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And who else? I mean, I have so many that I follow, but those are the four I follow the most.
Okay. I'll have to check them out.
Oh my God, our time is almost up. I was getting crazy talking.
Let's
so
go.
much.
Thank you for having me here.
So, yeah, I hope you come back sooner than later. We'll
I
talk,
will.
but I'll DM your friend, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and if you're gonna put this on YouTube, send me the link, okay?
Okay. Got it.
All right, nice talking to you,
Thank
Marcos.
you. All right.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Ciao.